I can't believe somebody had the audacity to say my cologne stinks this week, so stay tuned. Hey, what's going on? Fragrance Hunter here, and welcome back to my channel where I upload weekly fragrance content, so you know what to do. Hit the subscribe button down below and also make sure to follow me over on my Instagram page. So yet again, another weekly fragrance rotation coming right at you. Glad to see all you guys returning, and I hope all you had a fantastic week. And if you are new, this series, we basically run down what fragrance I wore on each day, how many sprays, the kind of weather, and of course, if that fragrance got any compliments or not. So let's get right into Sunday. So actually for Sunday, I did not wear a fragrance. Believe it or not, I had a fragrance-free day because I woke up on Sunday feeling extremely sick, and the last thing I wanted to do was spray a fragrance on. I had no desire to wear a fragrance at all. And it's actually good to take a break once in a while from fragrance to kind of let your nose settle and come back even stronger, of course, because for me at least, I'm wearing a fragrance literally 24/7. All day long, the morning, of course, to bed, the evening. My nose is basically smelling a fragrance nonstop. So yeah, I decided on Sunday just to take a break. And do any of you guys actually take breaks from fragrances? Let me know down below. It was in the low 70s and sunny outside, so I decided to go with a brand new fragrance in my collection, and that is Ormond Jane. This is Isfarkan. Now, to be honest with you guys, this fragrance, when it came out in the early 2000s, was way ahead of its time, and I'm honestly surprised nobody talks about this because it actually kind of has that Elysium DNA from Raja Parfums. Being a citrus vetiver, this though has a very refreshing lime note in the top that does start to dry down in this almost kind of pink pepperish vibe with this earthy, grassy vetiver in the base. And to be honest with you, I wouldn't be surprised if Raja Dove took inspiration with Elysium from Isfarkan, since they are both British houses, and this came out probably around 10 years before Elysium released. So this is one to definitely check out if you like Elysium, without a doubt. Now on that day, I actually did do 10 sprays of Isfarkan. The performance was good, especially with these new parfum concentration bottles. Got no compliments on that day, but wow, I'm absolutely gonna be reaching for this one a lot more, especially when the sun starts coming out and it warms up outside. Tuesday was in the mid 70s and also sunny outside, so I pulled out another new fragrance, actually from the house of Supers Budapest, which we all know has been getting a ton of hype for good reason, and this one is Endless Sea. So this is probably the only freshie I really have from Supers Budapest, so I was excited to actually try this one and wear it. And during the day, man, I literally smelled like I was swimming in the ocean all day long and didn't shower after. That's the kind of vibe that this gives off. It's very aquatic, very salty, and also kind of has this dirty muskiness about it, hence the not showering part after being in the ocean for hours. But it honestly is an awesome freshie from Supers if you like salty aquatic fragrances. But on that day though is when I got told my cologne stinks. So what happened is this woman was kind of walking by, and it was an older woman, of course, and didn't look the most hygienic person out there, to be honest with you. And it's always the people that look dirty that always has something to say about our fragrances. Every time, I'm not even joking. I don't know if they're just offended by fragrances or what. But she walked by and says, wow, somebody's cologne stinks. She didn't say it necessarily to my face, but it was obviously applied to me. Now, of course, that doesn't knock this fragrance, because to the average person, they probably will think it's a little bit off-putting because of the aquatic salty and muskiness going on in here. It's not a freshie that smells like I just hopped out of the shower, like I said earlier. And then also, I was kind of surprised because I had a coworker ask me what I was wearing today, because she obviously knows I wear fragrances every day. She usually compliments me as well. And I told her what it was, and I said, what do you think about it? She says, honestly, I don't really smell it. And I did do 6 sprays of Endless Sea. This isn't the best performer from Supers Budapest. I smelled it all day long, so I don't know. Maybe I should have applied more, of course, being a freshie, but I wasn't sure what I was going into because the others from Supers are beast mode fragrances. This one though, you might want to apply a little bit more. And of course, if you do want to check out Supers Budapest, since a lot of people are, use code HUNTER10 on their website, and that will save you 10% off. Wednesday was in the mid 50s and rainy outside, so it's starting to cool off here where I'm from. And I went with a pretty much no-brainer dumb reach fragrance, and that is Afnan Supremacy Not Only Intense. You literally cannot go wrong with this fragrance, especially for the price. It is kind of a twist between aventus and nishane hacivat with that oak moss. But this still has a very fruity and inky blackcurrant opening with no pineapple. But when I tell you this fragrance gets attention and gets compliments, I mean it, because on that day, I did do 10 sprays of this stuff, which could be overkill because it is a beast. One of my coworkers told me that you literally smell so good. She was thoroughly impressed with what I was wearing on that day. And then I also had this random person that was like standing by me. She's like, "Hey, is that you that smells really good?" And I was kind of like, "Yeah, thank you." And that's always a good feeling, getting a compliment from somebody you literally do not know. And also, the first person that complimented me saying that I smelled so good today, later on in the day, like hours and hours and hours into the day, she asked me if I reapplied it because she said that it was still so strong. And that's what I tell you guys, this fragrance, if you do want a beast mode fragrance that's affordable and smells good and gets you compliments, check out Off Non Supremacy Not Only Intense, trust me. Thursday happened to be in the high 50s and cloudy outside, and I pulled out this fragrance because I haven't worn it in some time now, and it is Hermes H24. This is the original EDT. They do now have two flankers, the EDP and some kind of new like herbal flanker, I believe. I haven't tried that one out yet, but the original H24 is a fragrance I wrote off when I first smelled it. I thought it was very generic smelling, especially for an Hermes, but after having a bottle and getting to know it, I've completely changed my mind. It may be somewhat boring and generic, but it's literally like the perfect office fragrance. If I think of an office fragrance, this is probably what comes straight to my mind. It's very aromatic, very metallic, and also has this extremely unique dry down that I've never smelled in any other fragrance before. And I did do 10 sprays of H24. The performance with this is very, very respectable, especially being an eau de toilette. And it's funny because I did get a compliment on this fragrance, and I was kind of having a bad day on that day at work. My coworker asked me if I was good because me and her have been around each other like all day at work. And I told her I'm all right. And then she said that your fragrance smell is very good, by the way. And it was funny because I said, "Thank you, I'm good now." Like that compliment just put me in a good mood. But I was joking, of course. But she liked the fragrance, but she did say that it is a little bit boring smelling, which I totally understand. This isn't the kind of fragrance that when you walk by somebody, they're gonna remember you from the smell. But it is gonna be a good dumb reach just going to work at an office setting or anything like that. It's perfect for. Friday was in the mid 60s and cloudy, and I pulled out another fragrance from Ormond Jane that I don't have a bottle of, and this is Knob of Oud. So this is Ormond Jane's Oud fragrance, and I've honestly wanted to try this one for quite some time now, and I am thoroughly impressed with it. To me, Ormond Jane just smells of class. It smells very, very British, and their take on an oud is an extremely clean, fresh style, spicy oud that isn't too funky or barnyardy. It's extremely sophisticated. If you're looking for a sophisticated, classy oud, this is gonna be it right here. Now, on that day, I did do 6 sprays of Knob of Oud, which I hope I'm pronouncing right. No compliments on that day, kind of just ran errands, shopping, things like that. But man, of course, me being an oud lover, I'm gonna probably go through this travel decant pretty quick and then hopefully get a bottle very, very soon because I love oud, and this one did surprise me and is kind of unique. I believe it has this kind of fresh aldehyde note in the opening, which sets it apart from any other oud I've ever tried. So that's what I wore for Friday is Knob of Oud by Ormond Jane. Wrapping the week off on Saturday, it was in the mid 50s and actually rainy outside, and I pulled out another new fragrance in the collection, just got this one in, and it is Veronique Gabay. This one is Desert Rose. So for any of my rose lovers out there, which I know a lot of you guys love this note, this might be one you want on your radar because it's an extremely clean, very authentic smelling rose, along with this nice kind of warm resinous frankincense with surprisingly a coffee note, which sets it apart from a lot of rose fragrances. I know when I first saw the note breakdown with coffee and rose, of course the first fragrance that came to my mind was Mollental Intense Cafe, but that one is a much creamier fragrance and has a lot more coffee going on compared to this. This is primarily based on that rose and just smells very, very classy. However, it does slightly lean on the more feminine side while still being a unisex fragrance. Like I had no problems wearing this one on Saturday, but on Saturday kind of just chilled, did do some stuff, watch UFC of course. So for any of my UFC fans out there, how about that Sean O'Malley when keeping his belt? Such a banger of a card at UFC 299, but of course was rocking Desert Rose. So that's gonna do it for my weekly fragrance rotation. As always, leave a comment down below the fragrance you guys chose to wear throughout the week. You always pull out bangers. And besides that, leave a like, subscribe below also if you haven't already. And of course, I'll see all of you back here in my next upload. Take care, everybody.